Since it was your first concert in Gdansk, I gotta ask you the cliche question: how did you like it, especially the post-industrial building?
I loved it. Poland is one of my favorite country to play, I guess. And I don't know, I've never heard of Gdansk before today. I'm sorry about it.
No problem.
But I don't know, I just love the energy of Polish people. Really, I've played in Krakow before, Warsaw, Wrocław, yes.
Poznań as well last year, I think.
I did
yes.
too. Yeah, that's true. So I didn't expect anything less from the Polish people, and they always deliver, I guess.
If you had to compare it to Russia or the Ukraine, where the scene is huge.
You know that actually, yesterday I was actually wondering, like, we did this show in Wrocław where it was crazy, it was amazing, and I was thinking that's maybe a tender for like one of the best shows I've done.
Whoa!
Really,
That's
I think in my top 3 favorite places to play, Russian, Poland are fighting
Whoa!
there, and then I guess there's US, probably here somewhere, and maybe I don't know, Germany, France, not sure.
Yeah, France, of course.
We'll see. We'll see then. We'll see for that.
Great. Another question. Maybe you've heard of one before, but recently, over the course of the last years, the scene has changed. The big players have their style. When you listen to you, Lost Years, or whoever else, you know that it's them when you hear them.
Yeah.
Yes, the newcomers, all very common. Yes, they kind of sound alike. And in the last years, last time, the mainstream media shown interest in the synthwave.
Yeah, they did.
How do you think this will change in the following years? What will happen to the scene?
There's something I always didn't like about synthwave. I don't really like to call myself synthwave, anyways.
Yes,
I am.
wave.
Ultimately, I am kind of synthwave, I guess. But it's a scene where there's a lot of people coming. There's like 5 new guys coming every day, 5 new producers.
Yes, that's correct.
Doing very, I don't want to sound mean, but very bland stuff.
Yes.
Very, it's like appreciators, and they do it like by the book. If there was a rule to make a synthwave track like a recipe, a lot of people do it very well.
I was scared that political correctness will forbid you to say such words, but
no.
I agree with you totally.
No, I just I've been into this type of music since 6 years ago. I started in 2011.
Shout and
yes, that was one of my first things.
Yes, I've done my fair share of homework.
You did your homework.
Yes.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Every day I see a new guy coming, and everybody's like
cyber whatever and
cyber droids 87 whatever, and it's like
exactly.
and it's like everybody tells me like, oh, this is the next big guy.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, I'm really waiting for this guy to actually impress me. And there's like in myself there's a 50-50, there's like a dilemma always. I'm waiting for the next dude who's gonna really impress me, and ultimately I'm waiting for the guy who's gonna take what I do and make it better.
Well,
and like the next Perturbator, the next.
Well, you want to hear something good in your genre that was not made by you.
Exactly, I want to hear something like that will blow my mind, really.
Of course.
And half of me is kind of really annoyed by this whole scene, and I wanna get out of it, kind of. I'm working on a EP, so and the EP is gonna be. You probably have a question about it.
Exactly. The next question was about it.
All right. well, I guess I'm gonna answer to it now.
Go on, man.
But I'm working on an EP, and the EP is more, it's a step away from Synthwave. That's what I want to say. It's still Perturbator, but it's less neon, less ruled by all those Synthwave, just risks.
Quite honestly, I can't say I wouldn't sing the coming, especially after the tactical.
Of course, yeah,
Yes.
tactical precision disarray was really like I'd say it was like a sort of announcement of like,
Archetype.
yeah, it's like this is what's gonna happen next.
Yes.
I actually made a clear point of releasing it before Christmas, actually, last year, because I wanted people to know that I wanted to make people kind of almost ready to be surprised in some way. I hope they will be surprised. I think they will be surprised, even if it's in a bad way or a good way. I think a lot of people will hate it, and they're gonna be like,
Yes, of course. That's how it happens all the time.
Obviously. But I think a lot of people will acknowledge the risk and the difference of what I'm trying to do, and we'll see. But it's gonna make me feel very good to be. I don't want to be stuck into, I don't want to be the guy who made
Redoing all the same stuff.
I don't want to be the guy who made the Hotline Miami soundtrack for the rest of my life.
Yes, of course.
That's the thing. It's good. I loved Hotline Miami, but I don't want to be like,
I hear you, man, so well. Well, to be honest, I was one of those people who were kind of surprised when you released Tactical Precision Disarray, but then I got what you wanted to tell, to pass through that, and why you did it. I understood it.
Thank you. I'm glad you did.
Well, I have kind of different question. Over the course of last years, months, and events that are happening in Europe, all over the world, it's hard not to remember a quote that you used on the beginning of I Am the Night.
The New Black? Yeah.
Yes.
I want you to get
from
mad.
Network.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
I want you to get mad.
Yes, that
Yeah.
one. Do you think that our future as a species is more kind of ghosts in the shell, where technology is even as vastly spread as the terror, or kind of Mad Max style, where everything is,
See, the thing is, to me, science fiction, that even like real science.
We'll get to that in the next question, by the way.
It's not a threat. I have no. Maybe some of the people who listen to my music probably may think that Perturbator is trying to warn us about science fiction and dystopia shit and blah blah blah. It's really not that. It's I don't have any trust in the human being.
I hear you, man, so well.
It's the human being as a species. I think we're a terrible species. That's really
We're a virus.
Very pessimistic thing to say, but I do believe it's everything we do, we turn it into something destructive or malevolent, and something
Malicious.
bad. Malicious.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll make robots eventually, kind of soon maybe. We'll make virtual reality, and we will always, as a species, find a way to turn this into something
Into a war machine.
very wrong, very bad. So that's why I use the network sample. Of course, there's also the real nowadays problems that are already very bad.
That quote is on the mouths of so many people.
It is.
Right
It's
now.
a very. It's funny because it's a quote that rings very true in today's society, even though it's from a movie that was from the 70s.
Yes,
But even today, you're listening to this quote and you're like, fuck, this is
man.
This is true. This is happening right now. So I stand by this quote, and I'm pretty sure in the future it's gonna
I'm with
get
you.
a lot more shittier. Than
Of course,
it was.
I hear you. And it's a prequel to the next question because you said something about science, and this is exactly what I want to ask. As you may not or may not know, in the electronics, current hottest topic is neural networks, neural processing, and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
Terminator stuff.
Yeah.
And since you've made sentient, wanted to ask you about what you think. Will we ever achieve the sentient AI? Will it be a threat to us?
It's a funny question. I talk a lot about this in my albums, I guess. It's, you know, robots that get their own free will,
That's why I ask it.
and I'm not sure. I don't think it's realistically possible now. Maybe in a lot of years, maybe. I'm not even sure.
10 years max.
More than 10 years. I think we'll be able to make robots, with sentient robots. I'm not too sure.
Yes, that is correct.
I'm not too sure. But it was always like a very fascinating concept to me, you know, this type of, you know, it's like the God complex. It's like the human trying to become God by creating something that is the same thing as themselves, but in a different way, you know. And in the Bible, it said that God created us
Yes.
in
We would
in his
create them.
in his image.
Yes.
So we as humans trying to create robots in our image, which creates this uncanny valley
Yes.
type of thing. And
Yes.
so you're thinking like, what if this fucking weird, creepy shit that talks to me actually has feelings, and it's like it gets creepier and creepier.
Well, you know, I'm a programmer, electronic engineer, so I hear you so well. When you write the software and you run it, you
Yeah.
can always say that it did something that I didn't predict. That gives you the feeling that
can
it's
happen.
alive.
It can happen. It can happen. It's always kind of freaky, dude.
And I got two more questions. One will be very short. The next one it will not. Have you ever heard about Woodstock Festival?
Oh yeah, sure.
Would you like to play there, or is it just not your thing? Theoretically speaking, of course.
Theoretically speaking, I'm not sure. I don't think it's my thing. I think Woodstock Festival is more for shit. I'm gonna say like maybe it's offensive. It's not really PC, but it's maybe more for hippies and shit like that.
Ah, that's
No,
strange. Well, I can.
no, I'm kidding. It's more like you know, it's like I don't think Woodstock Festival would be ready to showcase an electronic musician.
Well, to be honest,
I would be absolutely down to play there if they asked me, but you probably will never ask me to play there.
Well, that is most likely correct. But
Typically speaking.
I think they are ready. As last year when I was there, I heard a lot of Carpenter Brut.
Oh, really?
Yes, but not on the stage. In the camps.
In the
When the
camps, yeah.
people played music through their cars, through their phones, whatever, right? Carpenter Brut,
Well,
it was.
that's kind of weird. I was not expecting that actually.
It's so
Surprising me with that.
when you have 500,000 people, everything can happen. And those are, since you probably know that great majority of your listeners are post-metalheads.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was primarily a metalhead festival. It was kind of natural that some of them will migrate to the surgery.
It's possible. It also, I think it's dependent on the future of the scene itself. So if I'm doing a good job, if a lot of other producers, like established synthwave producers, do a good job at not making it boring and repetitive, maybe there's a chance that we will probably get some recognition. But yeah, it doesn't depend all on me. I'm doing my best to. Like I said in the first question, I don't really consider myself synthwave.
That's correct.
I'm just Perturbator doing my stuff, and if Perturbator wants to go full ambience, I'm gonna do that anyways.
Well, you kind of did, but not exactly on
Almost.
the Android mixtape, which
Almost, yeah.
which was great, of
But
course.
it's a mixtape. It's not my own tracks.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to make an ambient album, like really, as Perturbator.
Dark ambient or just ambient?
Just ambient, like very 2008, 14 like very vaporwave-ish.
Yes.
You know, this type of album that you put when you go to sleep and you're like chilling and it's like good vibes.
You know what?
I always wanted to do something like that.
I wasn't intending to ask a question, but since we already at it, great majority of, maybe not majority, but fair share of people who were into the scene migrated to vaporwave and ambient and such genres, as they are kind of calmer, they are not that aggressive, and people kind of need that
Well,
peace in the stressful times of the day. I don't know.
I guess it depends. It's funny because to me it was actually the vaporwave people that a lot of vaporwave people I saw go to the synthwave scene.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I saw them going back to vaporwave. So I just think it's like a cycle thing where it's like you discover this new genre and it sounds like it pumps you up and it's like, yeah, it's really cool.
But
And then you go back to okay, now I need to chill, and you know it
you're
always
tired.
yeah you get tired. People get
Yes.
tired. People get tired of music.
You cannot always drink 6 cups of coffee.
Exactly.
That's what
You
I'm
gotta drink beer.
exactly. That's
At one point you gotta be like, okay, it's a beer.
okay.
And then you go back and it's like, coffee was good. Actually, I like coffee.
I like coffee as well, but since I'm a developer, that's kind of natural. But synthwave will always win in the car, especially in
Well,
the
thank
night. Vaporwave will put you
Thank
into
you.
sleep.
Vaporwave is, you know, for me, music is, it's really dependent on the, it's very contextual.
Yes.
I'm gonna listen to black metal, I'm never gonna put black metal in a fucking party.
Yes.
Because it's gonna ruin the fucking party. I don't want to ruin the party.
Yes.
Sometimes I do actually want to ruin the party, but whatever. But you know,
Well,
it's
that's
like
your aim.
when I put vaporwave, I don't want to feel like a moody fucking dude in the streets, dystopian, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I want to feel chill. I want to
Relax,
feel relaxed,
refreshed.
whatever.
I hear you, man.
When I'm writing for Perturbator, I want to feel like I'm making the next Blade Runner song. Like
Oh, that would be
I want
cool.
to feel like something. It's a very specific mood when I'm writing for my side project. I want to feel like something else. I want to feel in a very dark place, like a cave or something like that. It's very contextual for me.
Yes. And
So there's never gonna be like a genre that I find better
yes.
than anyone else. You know, it's like I'll never be like I prefer synthwave over vaporwave.
Yes.
For
Yes.
me, it's just the same. It's very good. There's good in all genres, but it depends on the mood.
For instance, recently someone asked me who is my favorite artist, band, whatever, and I couldn't answer it. I said that one time it's Igor, sometimes it's
Igor.
you,
Yeah.
or Led Zeppelin, or whatever. It kind of depends on the mood.
It really depends on the mood.
Yes.
Yeah. I have the same thing. I do have a couple of bands that to me are like really like top 3, top 5 bands. Like I
Yeah.
can always listen to them. Like Cult of Luna, The Devil's Blood, Mr. Bungle. There's like my
Yes.
top 3 bands, I guess.
Bungle is great.
It's like I can always listen to those 3 bands, and it's not even depending on the mood. It's just a band that puts me in the mood.
Yes, you.
It's different.
This is psychoacoustics.
Yeah. I
Yes,
guess,
exactly.
Yeah.
I love how the music can change your mood, and your mood can affect the music that you're
yeah,
listening.
exactly.
Great thing. Okay, I know that you're in a hurry. That's why I'll ask you
Oh, that, yeah.
the
Don't
last
worry,
one
man.
question. Would you like a T-shirt, or is your can find
Yeah,
it?
sure, man. Sure, man.
Will you
Are you
keep it
are
for
you
a
gonna?
second?
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna hold it.
Well, it's Katowice, which is a city in Poland, which has a saucer,
Yeah.
and we've decided to
A
let it
saucer?
go like in Voltor X.
All right. Good.
Yeah,
It looks
it's yours,
fucking badass, man. Thank you
Great.
very much.
It's
I'm
been a
gonna-
real pleasure.
Thank you very much, man. Same.
See you.
All right.
See you again, man.
See you, man.